Hi, everybody. Dr. De Liberti here. I teach humanities at the College of DuPage. And as we continue our March of Women, I wanted to introduce you to the 23rd Poet Laureate of the United States, Joy Harjo. What is a poet laureate, you ask? Before I go further, let me tell you. A poet laureate is someone who is to raise appreciation and reading of poetry across the nation. The poet laureate is the national poet for the United States. So if you think about that, who do you want to represent you in one of our arts? And who do you want to be telling our stories through the arts, except someone who has an awareness of who we are? A poet laureate suggests that you have a body of work to your name that transcends maybe one single moment of time for one single person, and in fact that it encompasses a larger understanding of who we are. If you look on the lower left, you'll see 8 of the 9 books that Joy Harjo has published. And then if you'll notice too that she's a musician, and that there are two of her 6 album covers are on this image as well. And so there's poetry. The music relationship between music and poetry is very tight. And so who better to begin to tell our stories than somebody who can do it in two of these media? One would be enough, but 2 of these creative media. She took up painting when she was younger as well. She was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She is a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, and she is the first Native American to hold the position of poet laureate. She is only the second poet laureate to be asked to do a third term. And we'll talk about what she launched as she went into her third term. But I want to point out that she has 8 books of poetry. If you look to the right, you can see a link that I'll put in the description, and you can go to that site and you can hear Joy Harjo read her own poems, and then the poems are annotated. I would listen to them first, and then if you want to read somebody else's perception of those poems, I would read them. But you'll want to go hear Joy Harjo read her poetry. Her poetry in general, she tells us about her poetry. If you look to the left now, she says, my poems are about confronting the kind of society that would diminish Native people disappears from the story of this country. Well, who better to be our poet laureate than to tell the story of people who have been disappeared, as she says, or who we've tried to erase. Her first book of poetry, She Had Some Horses, is often credited with bringing the Native American or the Native woman perspective into a dialogue and into awareness for people both inside and outside of Native American culture. And then you'll see, well, I'm going to move on to the next thing. As she went into her third term as poet laureate, she launched Living Nations, Living Words. And I thought I could make this interactive for you, but I cannot. But if you click on this link here, any one of these, each of these dots represents one of 47 poets in this initiative. It's an interactive map. And as you click on the map, you see where they live. You see a picture of them come up, some biographical information, and then you can click on a link and hear each of those 47 poets read their own poem. I believe this is an initiative she'll be expanding. Because we all want our brush with greatness, I want to say that we have a Writers Read series that brings writers to the College of DuPage. And in 2008, Joy Harjo was one of the writers who came to the College of DuPage. And I'm going to end by encouraging you to go back really and to listen to some of Harjo's poetry, to listen to some of her music, and to ask yourself, why we haven't had her representing us for so long. So go and enjoy, and thank you for listening to a little bit about Joy Harjo. There's much more to say, so I hope you'll go do some more research. Thank you. Bye.